Hi, I'm Barry Neil Shrum, co-host along with my partner Dennis Disney of our podcast, Music Row Dealmakers, From Composing to Closing. Maybe you've listened to it. For the past year and a half, approximately 23 episodes in all, the podcast has been a place where you can come to hear the conversations, real stories about the issues that affect the music business happening every day here on Music Row in Nashville, Tennessee. Dennis and I discuss some of our deals, some of our strategies as we practice law here on Music Row. And we discuss the law. We discuss the business and the law behind the music, the deals that make the magic happen, the music that you hear streaming on the platforms you listen to every day. We discuss the people making the laws that affect our intellectual properties, which ultimately affect what we do here on Music Row, the Supreme Court, District Court. We talk about decisions. We talk about artificial intelligence and how that affects the business of making music. You can find all of those discussions in our previous episodes, where you can go to musicrowdealmakers.com. There's an old saying, the only difference between the men and the boys is the size of their toys. Well, Dennis and I just acquired 2 shiny new toys, some podcasting cameras. One's called an Obsbot. One's called the E-Meet Pixie. Kind of looks like the character Wall-E from the movie. As a result of that acquisition, Music Row Dealmakers is growing, and we're excited to be adding video to our audio podcast. The excitement begins on July 15th. Music Row Dealmakers will also be published as a video podcast. And you can go over to YouTube right now and bookmark the YouTube channel Music Row Dealmakers, appropriately enough. Hit the subscribe button, and that way you won't miss a single upcoming video episode. It'll be the same conversations we've been having, the same guest, the same issues, where the focus is on the business and legal decisions shaping the music industry. We talk about publishing, we'll talk about music catalog acquisition, touring, licensing, rights of publicity, the deals that don't always make the headlines, but they continue to move the business forward here on Music Row and throughout the world. So from here on out, you'll be able to peek inside our studios with me and Dennis to see where all this happens. You'll be able to feel our passion, see our emotions, not just listen to us talking about law. For our dedicated deal makers, I want to reassure you nothing is changing about the existing podcast. It's the same series. It's staying put. It'll be right where it always been. You can find the audio episodes at musicrowdealmakers.com. The video versions are intended to supplement, not replace, the original content. To that point, our first video episode is actually a continuation of some conversations we've been having in the last couple of episodes in the audio podcast. Following our defense of Ryan Upchurch and his defamation action, we've been discussing the law of defamation and how that affects First Amendment, particularly in this age of massive verdicts and online commenting. Don't miss that. The conclusion will be the next edition and will be our first inaugural issue of the video podcast. You can find it on YouTube, July 15th. So search Music Row Dealmakers, hit subscribe. You don't want to miss what's coming. If you haven't listened to the audio podcast, do yourself a favor, check it all out, check the historic content. Go over to musicrowdealmakers.com, or you can find them in the RSS feed on YouTube as well. As always, should you have any comments or questions or thoughts about what we're discussing in those podcasts, send us a notice at questions@musicrowdealmakers.com or leave us a voicemail at 877-7-DEALMAKERS. We always look forward to continuing the conversation with our Dealmakers online. And I would be remiss if I didn't offer a special word of thanks to all of the deal makers out there who have been part of our show from the beginning. We really appreciate your support. So stay with us as we advance into this next phase of our podcast journey. And as always, happy deal making.